In this video, we're going to study how to write an expository essay. So أول شيء لازم نفهم شو هي expository essay. The main aim of an expository essay is to communicate factual information. يعني فينا نقول it is a kind of informative essay to inform the readers about something. There are different ways or formats that we can follow for the expository essay. For example, it could be in the form of a process essay, where we explain a process of something, compare and contrast, or cause and effect. So these are basically the three ways in which we can communicate our ideas in an expository essay. Now, there's a specific format that we're supposed to follow بالexpository essay. But before that, قبل ما ناخد الفورمات لازم ناخد أول step لازم نبلش فيها لما we have an expository essay to write. Let's say, for example, we have to write about the styles of popular music. So the prompt is, what are the styles of popular music? Before we start writing, we have to do a lot of research. And after doing the research, we have to start with first step, which is pre-writing. So pre-writing the essay, فينا نكتب random ideas, not exactly random, but like general ideas that we have that we're going to write in our essay. So for example, I can write something like music is universal, but styles vary. I can say originated. I can start, like, for example, by speaking about reggae music. I have punk music. I also have rap music. These are the three types of music that I want to talk about. And they start with the first one. So, for example, reggae originated in Jamaica. Also, reggae has a unique sound with reversed instrument roles and influenced by the Rastafarian culture, like Bob Marley. So these are the things that I have to say about this type of music. Now I move on to the second type, which is punk. So I can say that it's reaction against mainstream rock in the 70s. It's also shocking fashion, includes subgenres and simple music. And I can say that the pop punk with bands like Green Day. So that's for the punk. And the last one is rap. I can say emerged in New York City in the 70s. Political themes. Evolution from beat keeping to lyrical art. So they focus more on the words. And at the end, maybe a conclusion, I can say that there's a constant change in popular music. And mainly that's because of the cultural link. So I just wrote random notes of points that I have in my head after doing a lot of research. And we put them together. So I have to mark them. They should be between 12 or 15 points. I have 10 here, so that's okay. 10 is good. 11 actually. Okay, so I have 11 points for the pre-writing. Now I have my points together. Step number 2 is to write a thesis statement. And this thesis statement is extremely important. You have to write it in a very organized way based on what you have, based on the question that's being asked in the prompt. So for example, the question is, what are the styles of popular music and how have they changed? What are the styles of popular music? That's the question. So in my thesis statement, I should be answering it And I should be ordering the points based on how I want to structure them in my essay. So if in my essay, I want to speak first about the Reagan music, and then I want to speak about punk, and lastly, I want to speak about rap, then my thesis statement could be something like 3 of the most successful music styles are the second one is punk and rap. I can just stop at rap. Okay, this is a very good thesis statement. Why? Because it has 2 parts. First, this is the topic part, and this is the controlling part. It means this is like the answer to the question. The question is, what are the styles of popular music? And I wrote that 3 of the most successful music styles are, and I named them. Now, in my essay, the first body paragraph has to be about this. The second body paragraph should be about this, and the last body paragraph should be about the last one. So after writing my thesis statement, I would be ready to start writing. I start by figuring out how the format should be. First, I should have an introduction, and then I should have body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and lastly, body paragraph 3. And at the end, I should have a conclusion. Each one should be between 5 to 6 sentences, around that. In total, the whole essay should be 400 to 450 words. So I would say that each paragraph should be about 100, a bit less, maybe like each body paragraph should be 100 words, and these should be like 75 and 75, something like that, because they shouldn't be too long. And regarding the content of the body paragraphs, there's a specific format. So I should have, for each body paragraph, I should have topic sentence to begin. And then I should have supporting. I could have up to 3. And the last point should be concluding sentence. This is for every single body paragraph of these. So for body paragraph 1, I should do this. Body paragraph 2, I should do this. And for body paragraph 3, I should also do this. Now, regarding the supporting evidence, I can follow the PEE format. The PEE format says that I state the point, and then I give an example, and then I give an explanation of it. Okay, like for example, if I say, let's say our point is that for example, and still is very popular. This is the point that I'm stating. Now I give an example of that shows that he's very popular. For example, I can show, for example, according to X, it shows that the number of audience exceeded XYZ, whatever the number is. Okay, and then I explain this point by explaining it more, like to show that this number, for example, outweighs any number of audience that has ever happened before. This is an example of how I should be writing. So I state the point, and then I give an example and then explanation. This is the most logical way to write, because remember, our writing should be very logical in order for the reader to better understand us. After giving the point, example, and explanation, and then I should put a concluding sentence. And first I should put a topic sentence. Of course, it should relate to the thesis statement. So the first topic sentence in body paragraph 1 should be related to this, the second one should be related to this, and the third one should be related to this. In the concluding sentence, I'm supposed to sum up what the whole paragraph is about. Now, moving on to the conclusion and introduction. First, the introduction. The introduction should include a background, plus should end with a thesis statement. The background should be, well, could be about 2 sentences, for example, giving background about the topic. And then the thesis statement narrows down the topic onto what this essay will focus on. عشو حتركز هيدا الessay. That's for the thesis statement. We already discussed what a thesis statement is. It should be very brief, to the point, whatever you're going to discuss. Regarding the conclusion, it should be made up of 2 sentences as well. The first sentence should conclude what has been said. And we can also add something like a remark at the end, a random remark. Remember, it cannot be a question. It cannot be something new. It cannot be a quote. None of that, okay? Now, in the introduction also, besides the background, you can include a hook. A hook is when you attract the reader. It could be by asking a question. It could be by including a quotation. It could be through statistics. Any of these would attract the reader to your essay. So that's basically it. Now the conclusion, we already spoke about the content, the body paragraphs. حكينا عنهم. قلنا in total بدها تكون 400 to 450 words. So كل وحدة من body paragraphs بدها تكون شي 100 كلمة. وهون 75 by 75, that would equal 450 in total. We said that there are 3 ways in which it could be written. It could be a process essay, compare and contrast, or cause and effect. عملنا أول شيء pre-writing. It's very important to do the pre-writing لأنه بنكون عم نجمع أفكار random اللي هن بعدين حنستخدمهم to write the essay. Now let's see a sample of the essay. This is a sample of the essay. It's titled Styles of Popular Music. So as you notice at the beginning, what they did is that they gave a background about the topic. So music is truly the one universal language. Although all cultures have music, each culture develops its own musical forms and styles. In particular, popular music varies from culture to culture and from a generation to generation. In the past 100 years or so, there has been an explosion of popular music styles in the West. So this is giving a background about music, about how it varies from one culture to another and from one generation to another. It's written in very simple language, very attractive for the reader. لأنه بمجرد ما أنا وقف هون, I feel excited to read more to understand what are these popular types of music. Now this answers the question. It says 3 of the most successful styles are reggae, punk, and rap. So how did the 3 types of music? It's very important how we transition from one paragraph to another. One of the ways in which we can transition is that نحن عم نحكي عن different types, for example, is we start with one successful type of popular music is, for example, reggae. A second successful type of music is punk. A third type of successful music is rap. So بهذه الطريقة نحن عم نمشي consecutively 1, 2, 3. For example, I can also say first, second, third. I can say to begin, moreover, finally. I can use all these types of transition words to move from one paragraph to another. بس إذا كنا عم نعمل مثلا cause and effect, ساعتها مثلا one of the causes of X مثلا is Y. Another cause of X is Y. The final cause of X is Z, for example, for instance. Okay, so these are ways to move on. As I said, I can also say first, second, third, first, moreover, finally. I can use all of this, but it's very important to use them because هيدا الشيء بيخلي يصير في logic from one paragraph to another. It relates to the paragraph before it. So نشوف هون شو كتبوا. One successful style of music is reggae, which was born on the Caribbean island of Jamaica in the 1960s and spread throughout the world in the 1970s. So فينا نقول إنه هيدي هي ال topic sentence. بعدين صرنا نوضح أكتر how it developed. Okay, I gave more details. And then a few years later, what happens? And then I spoke about the guitar and the rhythm. And I gave more details and more details and more details. هلا هيدي it's a bit long because in total it wouldn't be 450 words, it would be 613 and your limit is 400 to 450. So هيدي لازم تكون أقصر. I would say it would be like, it should be 5 sentences in total. Okay, so that's basically it. And then we also, if you notice, reggae has influenced later styles of popular music, including punk and rap. اللي هن حينحكى فيهن هون. So in the concluding sentence, you can also introduce what you're going to talk about in the next paragraph. هون a second type, they explained it more in details, and they summed it up at the end. And the third type, كمان, they did the same thing. Finally, in the conclusion, I have to sum up. It's very important to include to sum up, in conclusion, in summary, any words like these to show that you are in the conclusion. Popular music changes constantly. This is summing up the whole idea. And then you explain it. And then you give a small remark on the topic. You can't introduce a new idea, remember, you can't include a question and you can't put a quotation. And one other very important point is that you're not allowed to put a question here. It's wrong. You should put a sentence that is clear and includes the points in the correct order. As I said, in the order that you want to talk about in the body paragraphs. That's basically it.